In this video you'll learn 6 pro strategies for the board game Catan. And not things you've heard before like Orvi cheap or longest road setups, but advanced knowledge that helped me reach world number 1 on Catan's largest online platform. This will allow you to compete on a level playing field with pros in tournaments, so let's get started. First strategy is called space and pace. This is one of the most creative starting strategies. The idea is to predict where everyone will place, locate the open space and aggressively point a road towards it. Predicting this is pretty tough, and you are breaking the rule intermediate players are advised to follow, which is don't point your road towards the middle. But if you execute it correctly, it will give you a free hex expansion, boosting your early game production and allow you to pace ahead. But if your calculations are wrong, then you will have wasted a road, which could have been used to fight for another open settlement spot. This strategy works best as third or fourth pick, as you have more information to figure out where the rest of the placements will be. This diagram helps to show how each of these strategies fit into different win paths. The closer it's placed towards that path's corner, the better it is at winning that way. Therefore, the pace and pace strategy is found in the longest road corner, because it's highly effective at winning with the longest road. But this doesn't even compare with the next strategy, side-by-side setup, which is a very clever positional strategy. The idea is that you place your 2 starting settlements close to each other in one of these 3 variations. These formations all allow you to connect your roads, but each one has slightly different strengths and weaknesses, so let's break them down. First we have the most common, which is called the open-close variation. This is where your settlements are 2 roads away from being connected. This formation will give you a lot of space for expansion and is hard to block, as you will only have a few shared hexes, and people tend to block shared spots early on. Next is the open far variation. This is very similar. However, your settlements are 3 roads away from being connected. This formation also controls a lot of space and is hard to block. However, you need to be aware that someone could place a settlement on the coast, which would hurt your setup significantly. Last but certainly not least is the closed variation. This is quite unique, as you have 2 ways to connect your roads. The main strength of this position is that you can lock up a certain resource hex, in this case the 5 ore. This can provide a ton of trade value, because you prevent other players from building on a strong resource hex. Also, this formation is more sneaky, as it isn't as obvious to your opponents that you are angling the longest road. However, it can be more awkward to connect your roads in a way that doesn't break your longest road path. These variations are all great for getting the longest road efficiently. And the side-by-side setup even works with all the most popular strategies that we went over in this video. Let us quickly go over these popular setups. The first is the full Orvi cheap setup, which places on only these 3 resources and buys a lot of development cards to secure the largest army. But if you want a similar development card setup which can also build settlements a little easier, then the hybrid Orvi cheap setup is the perfect option, because this includes also 1 hex of wood or brick. But there's also the road builder strategy, which places on a lot of wood and brick to focus on building roads, settlements and getting the longest road. Just like the city plus road strategy, places on a good amount of everything except for sheep. The game plan is simple: build cities and place roads to secure the longest road. The 5th is the 5 resource setup, which places on a mix of all 5 resources. This allows for a flexible and balanced game, in which you can consistently build up points. The last one is the port strategy, which places on a ton of a certain resource and it pairs with the matching 2-for-1 port to create a very self-sufficient and flexible position. Using one of these with the side-by-side position allows you to always have the potential to threaten the longest road, but it can also have serious drawbacks. Because towards the end of the game, your opponents may see this potential threat and they may build some roads to block your connection. Power-wise, the side-by-side strategy is quite underrated and easy to execute. It's also extremely powerful, especially when playing towards the longest road win condition or the double play, where you get both the largest army and the longest road. This is because it can work with both a wood brick setup to play the longest road game and a hybrid Orvi cheap setup, which has great potential for the double play. Therefore, it is located between these 2 corners on the diagram. But now let's look at the core concept, which will massively increase your trade value. It's called resource dominance. This is an easy to understand economics based concept which is fundamental to Catan. The basis is that you control a lot of one resource, let's say brick, that your opponents lack. Then they will need to trade with you in order to get access to the brick. The key is that they need your resource more than you need theirs. Therefore, you are in a position of power, and you can charge more resources in return for one of your bricks. This means that you can extract a lot of value by dominating a certain resource. But be aware that some players may dislike you hoarding all of that resource and not trading it cheaply, which could result in players trying to steal it from you. Make sure to strike a balance between charging a high price and keeping your opponents happy, to get the most out of the trades. This strategy is extremely strong if you are comfortable negotiating with other players and getting amazing value from your trades. Because it's a very flexible strategy and it can work in combination with many different setups, it is located centrally in the diagram, meaning it works with all 4 wind paths. But what if we take this to the next level? Well, then we get to number short. It's an advanced strategy, which adds on top of resource dominance, but it has a much higher risk-reward potential. It's called shorting, which is a term for betting against something from happening. On this board, there's 2 ore hexes with a 10, and there's also an ore spot with a 6. If you take the 6 spot and the 10 underperforms, you're in a perfect situation, because you'd be the only player generating ore. This has some additional benefits, as not only does this slow down their progression, but you will also be able to extract a lot of trade value for this resource, as the other players won't be producing as much as they need. However, this strategy can massively backfire. If their numbers roll more than expected, they will benefit, and advance their games at a faster rate than you. This strategy is very underrated, as not many players recognize the potential of number shorting. Shorting is a unique case when it comes to this diagram. This is because its strength towards a win condition depends on which resource is involved. Whereas if you are shorting ore, it will give you more of an advantage towards the largest army. So number shorting will give you a ton of trades, but mastering the following skill will give you even more strategic opportunity. Talking about trade predicting. This is a pro strategy which increases the number of trade opportunities you get every game. The idea is that you place on spots which allow you to trade heavily with another player. In this case, we have a ton of wood and ore, but no wheat, and our opponent has access to wheat but no ore. This means we will be able to make a lot of ore for wheat 1-for-1 trades with them, to advance both of our games. Additionally, on some boards you can place in a way where you receive complementary cards to one of your opponents on a specific roll. So when this number rolls on this board, orange produces wood. You produce brick, and so at some point you can trade each other to both be able to build roads. This strategy also has the benefit of helping you to form an alliance, because they're less likely to steal from you when you are helping them out. However, you need to be aware that not every player likes to trade a lot. You can try to get them to work with you, but don't force it. This strategy is very underrated, as not many players understand the strength of being able to work with another player on the table. You can receive a ton of value from trading, but if your opponents are reluctant traders, this can leave you inflexible. Because trade predicting can work with any of the 4 wind paths, it is found centrally in the diagram. But what if you want to create the strongest self-sufficient setup possible? Well, then you need to utilize combination strategy. The idea is to combine a strong setup with a strong port or positional play. For example, you can pair the road builder setup, which is high wood and brick, with either the wood or the brick port. This gives you a strong play for the longest road, with added flexibility from the port, which will help you build a much needed city. Another option is using a side-by-side variation with a hybrid or cheap setup. This pairs the resources for a very strong development card setup with the side-by-side positioning to make a move for the longest road. If you pull a road building, a Year of Plenty or a Monopoly card, you can connect your roads to help you pull off the double play, where you take both the road and army. You could also take a full or cheap setup with dominance on ore, and combine it with a matching 2-for-1 port being ore, wheat or sheep. Or even transform a not so powerful looking wood, wheat, sheep setup into a strong development card game by pairing it with the wood port. These combination strategies can transform good setups into great ones, as well as shift our main win paths. Take Orby cheap. This is inherently one of the best setups for winning the largest army. However, if you add the side-by-side positioning, now you have a great setup to win with just the largest army or the double play. But if you add an ore port instead, you now have a more flexible development card machine, which could turn into a build to tent setup. And according to research, one of the combination setups is the strategy with the highest win rate in Pro Catan. So if you want to know the top 10, then I recommend watching this video next.